You're watching the 420 Pace Network, found at 420radio.ca and paceradio.net.
You're watching the Hi Guys podcast with Al and the other Al on the 420 Pace Project.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with. All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Well, guys, if you can't hear us now, this is what, the third attempt. They say 3 times the charm.
All right, here we go.
Okay, can you hear us? Can you hear us? This is what, the third attempt. They say 3 times. Hey, I can hear myself.
We can hear us. We can hear.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
Hello.
Hey.
Can you hear us now? Hello? 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 Hello?
Hey, I can hear you. All right, buddy Weeds. Thanks, buddy.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Boy,
right,
hey,
we're here
go
now.
3 times the charm.
You are a naysayer, Al. I just want to say you said no, it's not going to work, but we'll try again because you're a naysayer. Can you hear this? Can you hear this? It's cold. It's cold.
Yeah, but you
all
see,
of these things.
now it does say it's a Facebook. It was not Facebook, but it was just
It was a
streaming issue there at
StreamYard.
StreamYard. Yeah, and looks like maybe we just finally got it there. And Buddy Weed says, "Hi guys." Yeah. At least now you can hear us, buddy. At least now you can hear us. It's not the silent show. Like the old silent movies.
Now I got to roll a doobie.
Yeah. Hopefully we don't drop at any time, though.
Shh, you naysayer.
Oh, I see what happened. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh.
Here, let me look and I can add it.
You gotta drop one because
what do you call it? Didn't load. So I'm changing it and now it's loading.
Oh, okay.
So now we've got 4 and 4.
Okay, there we go. Now we're working.
Well, I added the other streaming thingy.
Correct. Did we only have 7 then when we
I
started?
have my shirt on inside out, upside down. So
your tag is at the front of your shirt?
Shut up, Al. Continue with the show, please.
Al's top 5 things: how to dress.
As never mind. Look, I forgot my pants. I used to.
Everything shot from the chest up.
I used to joke with Debbie when she was around doing our shows and stuff that I did my shows in my underwear, and I have done my show, the 420 show, in my underwear before. I have to admit.
Oh well, I know a guy who talked about that all the time because he was in Radio Land. And
you see, when we were doing radio stuff, you couldn't see us, and then Al had the stupid idea of adding video.
Yes, Buddy Weeds, back to our regular scheduled programming.
Yes, back to our regularly scheduled crap.
So, in case now that it's working,
thank you for sticking with us, buddy.
Yes,
thank you from our heart. Can you see my little heart?
Al's got his his list. Video. It's a video. You talked about panic attacks and stuff. Right?
Yes, we're going to be talking about panic attacks, as I was saying.
With the holidays coming up, with Christmas coming up, I have got a completely infused cannabis turkey dinner to go over with you at the recipes when we get there.
Know what I was going to do yesterday? I made or not yesterday, the other day, I made a steak.
Mhm.
And I have some extra virgin olive oil cannabis mixture,
Mhm.
and I was gonna go at the very end, but I didn't because I forgot because the steak just looks so good. I'm glad I didn't because I'm always afraid I'm gonna waste it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Waste your turkey in it.
you can, and we'll see
Yeah.
this video or just a thing.
No, the recipe? No, it's not video.
It's not.
No.
Oh, come on now.
No, it's not video. And what else we got? We got some news, some Health Canada news for anybody.
Yep.
Also, we've got some sports news, and we
And
got upcoming events.
Yep.
And what we should also do now that we're back to normal, now we're broadcasting,
don't
not
know
dealing
about
with
normal.
audio issues. What we should maybe touch on is fact of the passing of Professor Alan Young.
Yes, I was going to make sure we brought that. Anybody in the cannabis community for the last 20 years or so knows who Professor Alan Young is. He was instrumental in a lot of the early ongoings of legalities revolving cannabis and specifically medical cannabis, right?
Correct.
Yeah. He passed away a few days ago. Yeah.
He fought for patients' rights to cannabis.
Yep.
And not only did he deal with cannabis, but he had other issues that he was dealing with as far as rights and helping out people who were wrongly convicted.
Well, he was a true human rights lawyer.
Yeah, which included which some people may know about the Bensworth case, which was a I'm gonna say, I'm just trying to think of the proper words here.
I don't know of the case.
Oh, don't you? Bondage. And
The legalities of S&M and things like that.
Yeah, it had to do with sex.
Okay.
And bondage, and like as if it was a service that was being offered.
Well, a little something I know about.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, I was sort of I'm
back in the day, there was legality issues with people wanting to practice BDSM, basically. And
yes, correct.
Is it? So, anyways, I'm not big on the violence of that world,
right?
Because it can be very violent. But what I have learned in the 30 years, in that realm, when you are with a partner, a consenting adult, some people have the need for pain brought on by several different reasons. And in a safe, consensual situation, there really isn't anything wrong. I've sat there and watched play before.
Right.
And it that whole whips and chains thing, it does have a very artsy way about it.
Okay.
They feature it in photos and art, in books, movies, but most people, when you think about that life, it's ew, it's gross, it's mean, it's angry, but it's got nothing to do, if done right, about anger.
Yeah. Now, this is some of the stuff that I'm just pulling up here on Wikipedia on him. Constitutional challenges to the criminal code, which included cannabis literature, drug paraphernalia,
Well, people don't remember that, at one time it was illegal to even have paraphernalia. You get pulled over or told to stop, police, and you've got a bong in your hand or a pipe in your hand or some pot in your pocket. You're,
Right.
big trouble. You used to be in big trouble. Now we walk around. I know people who walk out down the street. Amy Brown has been walking around with a bong in her hand for 15, 20 years.
Yeah. He's been helping individuals with mental health disorders, helping the incarcerated and wrongly convicted. He's been involved in challenging state officials, working for victims' rights. And
he's also a professor to many of the lawyers that are in the community now that we know.
Correct.
Jack and so many others. So I've met him I think once or twice at events. And
same here.
He's was a very nice man.
He retired in 2018, is according to what it said there.
Yep. It's sad, because as I just said this to somebody the other day. As I get older, I'm 61 this year, and I remember growing up and my mom being sad when all her people that she grew up with in movies and TV and news and all that start falling off. We used to watch generation. Yeah, exactly. We used to watch 60 Minutes religiously on Sunday, her and I. And then the original anchors started. Now it's Leslie Stultz and what's his name, Pilley. I can't remember his first name. Steve, I think, Pilley, are the only original hosts left. I mean, and that show's been going on for so long, but it's people are dropping off what seems like daily now these days.
Well, yeah, we all go through a phase. Like I can remember one time, all our friends were getting married. Then all our friends were having babies, right? Yeah. All our friends are buying houses, and all our friends are moving away.
Now all our friends have bad backs and shitty knees, and
yeah.
And we can't. And we sit around. We don't go for walks anymore.
Right.
Oi!
All right.
Nurse.
Shall we get to the high list?
Sure. What the fuck? What's the high list? Right. What are we doing the high list? Which is it?
What was the video you talked about with
I have
panic attacks and stuff?
Yes, I've got it. I'm working on it now.
Okay, I'll start the intro. You ready?
Okay,
you let me know.
You go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Start it. And I've got the video loaded here.
Okay. Here's all 5 seconds of it.
It's certainly high on the list.
Now, I just want to say, I don't remember what I was going to say. So let's watch the.
Watch the video.
So I suffer from panic attacks. Unfortunately, fortunately though, because of my microdosing with shrooms, I don't get them as often as I used to. This used to be something that happens when I'm going out, when I'm about to go out, when I got an event, this and that. I have panic attacks. So I thought today that we would watch how to help somebody having a panic attack. It's 8 minutes long, so it's a little bit long, but yeah, hey, we'll sit here and watch it with you.
All righty.
I'm Joe Walls, and I'm a psychotherapist at My Therapy NYC. And today I'm going to talk about how to help someone having a panic attack. What is a panic attack? Over 6 million adults in America, that's roughly 2.7% of the population, have panic disorder and experience panic attacks repeatedly. However, as many as 1 in 5 adults may experience at least one panic attack in their lifetime. A panic attack is a sudden, intense episode of overwhelming fear and anxiety. A person's brain and body undergo a fear response, but without the presence of any actual threat. Essentially, a panic attack is a false alarm. The body of the sufferer is unnecessarily going into the fight, flight, or freeze response. Along with being frightening, panic attacks can be confusing, often with no clear cause or way to predict an onset. They may occur in high stress situations, but also when a person is calm or even when asleep. How to recognize a panic attack? First, it's important to note that a panic attack can often resemble a heart attack to an outside observer, or even to the person experiencing it. When encountering someone who seems to be having a panic attack, you should first try to determine whether the symptoms have a physical cause or are the result of heightened anxiety or fear. Not everyone experiences panic attacks in the same way. If you know that a friend or loved one experiences panic attacks, it can be helpful to ask them what symptoms they experience. Generally, panic attacks last 5 to 10 minutes, often reaching peak intensity by the 10. Some can last as long as 30 minutes and consist of multiple attacks, one after another. Also, the person experiencing one may lose their sense of time. Here are some of the symptoms that may be part of a panic attack: abdominal distress, chest pain, chills or hot flashes, a choking sensation, dizziness, feeling like you're going crazy, like you're dying, feelings of terror, dread, or doom, heart palpitations, numbness, shaking, shortness of breath. What to do to help someone who's having a panic attack? Remain calm. It may be scary, but try to stay calm. Talk in a calm voice and reassure the sufferer that you won't leave, it won't last long, and that they're safe. Learn the warning signs and symptoms that were outlined earlier. Breathing. Engage in calm, slow, normal breathing that the person can mirror, but don't call attention to it. And do not use a paper bag. That could lead to hyperventilation. Name it. Gently identifying the event as a panic attack can help give the person context for what they're experiencing and help alleviate any fear caused by a new or unknown sensation. Ask how you can help. If this often happens to a person, they may have a standard coping mechanism. You may want to ask in advance if it's a friend or loved one. Also, you may receive a curt response. Don't take offense. It can be difficult to behave logically or politely when suffering a panic attack. Also, the person may want you to leave. You can give them space, but keep watch and let them know that you'll return if they need you. Also, positive affirmations and conversation can be helpful. Ask questions. Introduce yourself if you don't know the person, and ask if they need help. Ask whether they might be having a panic attack and whether they've had one before. Determine whether to stay or to go. Inform the person that you can help them leave if they want to. It may help alleviate some of the stress. The goal is to be where they're most comfortable. Offer positive, supportive words. Being kind and non-judgmental helps the person to feel safe and to understand that you're there to help. Validate their distress. Offer an empathic response, letting them know that you recognize the difficulty they're facing and are there to help. Help them stay grounded. Assist the person in focusing on what is really happening around them rather than what they fear they're feeling. You can try a variety of grounding actions, chatting calmly and slowly about familiar activities and places, offering a textured object that they can focus on feeling. You could try the 5-4-3-2-1 technique, focusing on things that are in the room and the different senses. 5 items to see, 4 objects to touch, 3 noises to hear, 2 different smells, and 1 taste. Focus questions. What's the day of the week? What's your location? Who are you with? Moving and stretching. Physical touch, if they're comfortable. Repeating a calming or helpful phrase. Simple math. Count to 10 or perform relatively easy calculations. Sitting down in a comfortable chair with feet on the ground. Respect their needs. They may need time afterward to rest and recover. Plans may need to change. Alternatively, if they are up for the plans, continuing with those plans can help reinforce the idea that they can survive a panic attack and continue with their lives as normal. Encourage and assist in finding help. When the attack is over, later, help them find a licensed mental health professional. Recommend self help books that you may be familiar with. Help them find related support groups. Help them look for other support resources, including organizations like the Anxiety and Depression Association of America. What not to do when someone is having a panic attack. Don't compare panic to common fear and stress. Panic attacks are more severe and may be difficult to understand if you haven't had them before. Don't shame or minimize the person or their experience. Similarly, avoid being critical or judgmental. Avoid saying things like, just relax. There's nothing to be afraid of. You're upset over that. What's wrong with you? Don't say those things. And don't make assumptions. Ask what they need. Don't just assume. And don't give advice. Some techniques, if new, could backfire, like some breathing techniques could lead to hyperventilation. Don't tell them how to manage symptoms. Just try to assist. When to get help. Generally, time and support are the best things to provide until the attack passes. It may feel like it isn't enough, but it often is. And calling emergency services when they aren't needed can make the situation more stressful. As mentioned before, a heart attack or other serious condition could possibly be confused with a panic attack. Try to be mindful of when you may need to call for medical assistance. Here are some of the factors that may indicate you need to call 911. The person never had a panic attack before. They're experiencing chest pain that feels like squeezing, not stabbing, and it moves to the arms and shoulders. They're experiencing chest pressure that lasts more than a few minutes. Their symptoms last for more than 20 minutes and get worse rather than better. They're vomiting. They're losing consciousness. That brings us to the end of our discussion today. Remember, panic attacks can be very frightening and stressful, both for the sufferer and for someone witnessing them. I hope you found this video helpful, and I'd like to invite you to share your comments and thoughts and questions below. And for more information, check out our website at mytherapynyc.com.
Go on, try and talk now. Al. Go on.
No. So very good information there.
Yeah, I think so because one who suffers from panic attacks, it's nice when somebody doesn't do a lot of the things that he suggested you don't do, because most people will overwhelm as opposed to just, hey,
Yeah.
calm down, man. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not even supposed to say things like that. One of the things that will trip me off when I'm in one of those things happening is relax, man.
No.
You need to chill out, dude. Like, because I'm sorry. Once it starts, it will keep going unless you calm down.
Yeah.
But hearing that you need to calm down doesn't help.
Doesn't help you whatsoever.
No.
More about trying to
cope.
Yeah.
You need to. It's true.
Now, can cannabis help with you in your panic attacks?
Yes, but it can also make it worse depending on the strain.
Okay.
Depending on the strain.
Do you find that that they don't help if it's particularly like a sativa based strain?
No, because there are sativas that act like an indica. Correct. And there are indicas that act like a sativa. And my only if cannabis is setting you off the strain that you're using, one of the reasons I get more than one strain when I get is because when one strain's causing issues or not helping relieve another issue, I'll mix it. And then usually you can find a happy balance.
Good. Just so you know, Buddy Weed says great information, and thank you.
You're welcome.
There you go. All right. Yeah. So he's just trying to find a good mix that can help.
Yeah, like I've got I got some banana OG and papaya and some root beer.
Oh, papaya.
Yeah, I hold on. I'm trying to think with the last one. Some apricot, purple apricot.
Oh,
okay.
never
So
heard that.
I've got 4 strains, and I found that the root beer made me a little panicky, and I
called root beer.
Yep,
Okay.
root beer Kush. I found that one of the indica strains was more like a 50-50 hybrid than an indica, so that was a little bit of, a little just kind of go about your day.
Yeah,
but the sativas are the root beer is a sativa, and it made me a little panicky.
Yeah.
So I mixed.
Right.
I'll mix the OG Kush or the banana OG with a little bit of the root beer, and I got a nice, it was nice.
A good mix that you're able to, if you needed to, you could, reduce or increase either strain. But it sounds like you got yourself something that works. It's just being consistent, being able to have that available.
When I get everything, when I get my stash,
yeah,
I usually try each strain right off the bat with a little space in between, and you can literally adjust your ride. You can, you have a little bit of this, and then you have a little bit of that. And if you get a little bit too hyper from that, you have a little bit of that and calm down a little bit. And it does it. And you add music to that. And hello. Anyways.
Could you, I guess no.
What?
It wouldn't be. I was just trying to think whether the CBD would help, smooth things out.
I know you tend to stay with one strain, correct?
Yeah.
Where I can't do that.
Oh.
I can't.
I have variety, but I do have my main strain crap.
Yeah, I mean, there are strains that I like and that I'm going to grow so that I always have it, but I can't. I tend to get a little grumpy when I use the same strain a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Just because
the variety.
Yeah, I get used to it. And I've learned that, there really are strains that you can do morning, afternoon, and night. And then there are also strains that will knock you out.
Yeah.
So but let me just say, it depends, that each strain that you use depends on the person that is using it. When that first time when you got stoned and you didn't like it, probably because it was a shitty strain.
Oh yeah, more likely. Yeah. And I know people who are like that. Negative, actually.
I have had negative effects from strains that I've smoked with you at an event, and nobody knew it. Well, I guess maybe you did, but
you can just get really high. Holy fuck! Come on,
that's when I go outside and I get some air and I switch strains. When a friend says to me, I'm really depressed, or I'm really hyper, or I can't calm down, I'm like, and they are over consumers, some people would call. I always say, jokingly, but I mean it, switch strains. It's time to switch strains, because I know when I use the same strain for too long, it affects me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Usually for the worse.
I grew 4 strains this year, so.
Well, and that's what I once I get into a cycle, I hope to always have 4 strains available.
Good. All right. Do you feel like you feel a little hungry?
Yeah, I've only had a toasted cheese sandwich so far.
All right. Well, I got the recipes for you just to cure that munchies.
All right. Cha cha cha.
Cha cha cha. That's right. So today, being that Christmas is just around the corner, another 2 weeks? Actually, 2 weeks today.
Yes.
I thought that it'd be a good time to give people an idea on, maybe you got lots of friends or family. Maybe you have a friend gathering that like cannabis. So I thought that I would come up with a recipe, but a whole Christmas dinner.
And
everything infused. Right?
Anthony and I can't remember her name in Hamilton used to have suppers where you could go.
Yeah.
And what's her name?
Her?
She does the canna crawl. She's a chef.
Yeah, I know.
but anyways, and Danny Raposo, who is was a runner-up on MasterChef Canada, I think it was.
Wow.
He also makes full meals.
Yes.
Yep. He also has he's in Portugal now, I believe, and he has a lot of cannabis dinners that he makes.
All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I've got a dinner for you, Al, right here.
All right.
See, right there. There's the turkey sitting on the front cover. Grassroots Advocate. That was the magazine that Pace put out. And you can see cannabis infused turkey dinner.
Yeah, I'm looking forward
just
to
go
that.
straight to it. All right. Now, because the fact that, Al, do you really want to cook a whole turkey? Maybe not. So
yes. No, hold on. Yes, you asked a question. Let me
Sure.
fucking answer it, man.
No, I want to answer it for
Sorry.
you. Go ahead.
Now you lost my train of thought. I enjoy turkey to the point where I must have extra for sandwiches. So just do the whole fucking turkey.
Just do the whole turkey. He takes the whole turkey. All right. Yeah, there we go. Buddy says, all right. Infused Christmas dinner that will make the holidays happy. Exactly, buddy. Exactly. So here we go. Here I've just used a piece of turkey breast because I was looking at more of 1 or 2 people versus somebody who doesn't need a whole turkey, cooking a whole turkey when I wrote this. So yeah, there's the turkey. You can see it there. Look at they put the butter right on top of the piece of turkey.
You know what? I watch a lot of cooking stuff.
Yeah,
and a lot of people do that. So cooking with can of butter, if you're going to use butter anyways, might as well.
Now there's cannabis infused stuffing.
Oh,
it takes 1 cup of infused oil in order to make that. So you've got your turkey, you've got your stuffing. Both of them are done using cannabis. And then you've got your rosemary cannabis mashed potatoes.
Oh.
Right. Followed by, and they use canna cream in that one. Followed by your easy cream corn that's infused with cannabis butter.
I'm going to have to print this off, I think.
And then, if that's not enough for dessert, you're having not my grandma's crispy apple crisp.
I love apple crisp.
Apple crisp.
Until you get that piece with the apple core in it, and then you're like,
you get to swallow it all down with your sparkling pear Processo Canna Punch.
Not really a pear flavor.
No, yeah. So there you go.
That
I'm
looks
going to
yummy,
put.
Al.
I'm going to put that website of
Your duck is calling you.
my duck is calling me. Correct. That's my phone.
I figured. So I mean, I have done a little bit of cannabis cooking. I help Paula
Mhm.
at the lounge. We've had the gal that I was talking about in, and but I've not made a full meal. I play. I've made cookies. I've made. I haven't done ice cream yet.
No, you're right.
But I've made cannabis treats. I've made mushroom treats.
Hmm.
But you, sir, have taken it a little bit further, and you have a chocolate machine that you infuse chocolate and put it in. Yeah.
Yeah. We would have a chocolate fountain, and we would melt
Oh,
cannabis and cannabis butter in with the chocolate in the fountain, and it would just flow out of the fountain, and you just dip your fruit or whatever you wanted to dip into.
okay,
Usually
you
it
need
was
to
fruit.
stop, or I'm going to turn into Homer Simpson.
Oh, it was so good. I'll tell you, it was great. But yeah, I've cooked a lot of different things, just at home. And I just basically if a recipe or whatever called for butter, I just put canned butter in it. The
Now,
same.
how's the wife feel about edibles?
For herself,
Yes.
she knows go low and slow.
So she doesn't mind edibles now and then.
No, it's not as if she eats any or anything
Yeah.
like that, but it's not as if she hasn't, right?
See, my issues with the edibles that are available out there in the market, and when I say in the market, I mean
Mhm.
everywhere, both legal and illegal market, or the indigenous market, or whatever you use. Most, unless otherwise posted, most gummies, candies, pops, drinks are made with isolates and distillates, which I don't
Distillates.
like.
Correct. Yeah. You've said that before. You don't like them,
No, I
and
don't
then
like.
a lot of that is sugary stuff too, right?
Which I also have to.
Yeah. Diabetes, right?
No, it's
Yeah, you gotta watch that.
Diabetes.
Yeah, you gotta be careful for that for sure. No,
Remember? Go ahead.
that's what's nice about the THC base that I get from Legacy 420. Just put it in what I want, right? If I want to put it in some yogurt, I can just put it in some yogurt.
Yeah, but is that a distillate, or is that made from
Full
cannabis?
spectrum.
It's full spectrum. Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I try
Yeah,
and use.
The higher the dosage,
The more expensive.
no, you can, the taste, the cannabis taste is there.
Oh yes, of course.
Because of it being, yeah, it's not a distillate, man. She's not.
It's
Yeah.
it's all about how it's made, right?
Yeah.
Right?
So
yeah.
okay. So the recipe's done. Anything else you wanted to touch on, food wise?
Ding 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 ding. Let's hurry up and get with this shit. I'm getting hungry now.
You get
Lunchtime nears.
the lunchtime near, so it's still another hour away, man. Okay. First, okay. From there, we'll move on to the next segment.
All right.
Instead of running our promo that was going to take 2 minutes.
Why not? Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Hey, it gives you time to run and grab a snack.
No, I'm good. I got my doobie.
Okay. All right. You're good. All right. As everybody knows, who maybe you don't know, we have put out a movie, like a sort of bit of a documentary type movie on the Apple. And it was released last week. And it's about 50 minutes long. We get to see how the Hapo is created. I see that, Chris.
and uncreated.
And, yeah. Yes, exactly. And so I'm going to run a quick promo on that, and then we're going to come back with a review, some of my own. So we'll talk to you in about 2.5 minutes.
This, guys, is a BT bottle with a little straw on the end of it, okay? Back in the day, we used to have glass bottles, soda pop in glass bottles, okay? Soft drinks. And this was built for the old school hash. This is the hash that your uncles and your grandparents would get. And this is the stuff that we would all treasure whenever we could get it, because we thought it was the best stuff, because it's the constant. It was our form of concentrate.
Correct.
Right? When we were young, right?
Yes.
This is
To answer your question now.
Oh, here we go.
Forward. Now you're going to cut this out if it doesn't work, right?
you just cut it out now. These are the 3 tools I use to form and shape the happers.
So now once the prep work is done over on the lathe, it now has to come over to me to put the mouthpiece on and finish off the top part. So first up, I just need to clean up and close off the top that's left over.
First thing I'll do is I will heat up the corner and I'll push in the Maria, which is the circular love that acts as a stopper. Right? Whereas I'm kind of like, I'm 49 years old, but I don't have time to be an artist.
You know, but each one is individual, though. There's only one of each. So it does make it art.
Oh, stop it. Okay.
Hey, where'd you go, Al?
Sorry.
All right, you're coming back. All right, yeah, the Apple promo there. Let everybody know it's available. It's on YouTube and on our Facebook places and everything.
And you need to watch the documentary to find out. Hey, what happened?
That's right, exactly. Because what does happen with that apple and that nail? Just so you know, Buddy Weed says it's time to infuse lunch. All right, Buddy, we'll work on that. See, maybe next week's show. And he says, great work on the apple video. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Hopefully you got to see the whole video, not just the promo there, Buddy.
Maybe let's post a link to that video.
We'll post a link to the video. All right, I'll do that during the show because I haven't got it in front of me right now.
Here, I'll get it.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know where it is.
It'll be on my YouTube page, so I'm on my way right there right now. It'll be on the 420. It should be on the 420.
Yeah, I will get it. You keep going,
page
and I
as
will
well.
go get. I'll get.
Yeah, I've got it. Huh?
You got it?
I thought I had it. Hang on. Let's see, we're live.
I'll see if I can find it real quick.
Oh, okay.
So you can keep going.
Oh, there it is. I got it now.
All right. Jesus.
All right, and I got the
You knew
link.
where it was.
So I'll put the link in the comments, everybody, for you to watch. You catch the video, the full complete video of the apple. We go through all the steps of the creation of it, from the shape to watch him make every piece and how it's done. There's questions and answers through it, and you'll get the answer to that video there with the nail. I think you'll be surprised.
Excuse me
So,
one
yeah.
second.
All right, you leaving? Okay. Apple video. This is what I'm typing in the chat here, folks. Comments. Okay. And there we go.
She actually came in and ate his food while he was eating it.
The cat came in and
No,
ate.
the dog came in and ate his food while he's got his face buried in his bowl.
Oh. Okay, so I've added the Apple video there.
Awesome. Thank you, buddy.
All right. Now, product review. I did run that video. What I've done is another strain, a strain that I grew this year. First time growing it, so like last week. This one is called Cherry Dragon. You can see my bud. Got a little bud here.
Nice.
Smells like a bud. And it's the first time, like I said, I grew it. The good thing, you can grow enough cannabis for a year off of one plant, no problem.
No, really, you'll have to send me some information.
Yeah, I'm gonna say she's a 2-pounder.
Really, and how big was it?
Probably about I'm gonna say around 7 feet, maybe 7.5 feet. Yeah,
Wow, dude.
big and round. I actually posted a video of it on Blue Sky of it getting caught in a windstorm out there. You know, just basically.
Is this one of the ones that broke?
No, it didn't break. But I'll tell you, it was friggin' swishing and slamming around, and I'll see if I can pull it up here and just show it to you on my phone. I'll have to should clean my phone. And but it was just.
I have I got cookie stuff all over my.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's just crazy. Get slammed around out there, but hey, they survived, right?
I was always worried when I went home for a week if I was going to come back to them, blown over and at the farm, I never had any issues at all. They just sat there and did what they were supposed to do.
Oh yeah.
We get, as I was saying to Al earlier, we get 100-kilometer winds here because I'm like literally maybe a mile from the edge of the lake.
Yeah.
And Lake Superior is the angry lake. So I've got 2 panels from my greenhouse that have blown out.
Yeah.
And they were in there 5 feet tall, big buds on the top, and they made it. They made it through anyways. Right? Yeah,
it sucks when they break though, I'll tell you.
Yeah, but you figured out a way to repair it.
Yeah, I did. Okay, here's the. I don't know if you can see it here.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah, blowing around. There's the plant, just to give you an idea how big it is. You asked me how big does it grow.
I like to watch the trees off in the distance there, over in the forest in front of the house there.
Now,
in the wind, because they're just like, whoa, you get like 20 foot high birch trees that are just like going like literally like this, eh?
Yes.
And every now and then one goes and you're like, oh, cool.
The that never broke during any of the wind or anything.
Wow.
So I was happy with that. It was easy to trim as well.
Hand trim, or did you use a machine?
Hand. Yeah. And then so I got some information on it.
Okay. Cool.
All right, there you go.
Oh, it's from the same site that you showed me last week.
Correct.
Or
Yeah.
is this the one that you showed me?
No, that was a different one last week.
Okay.
Last week was Trophy Wife. This week is Cherry Dragon.
And are these feminized or regular?
These are regular seeds. They're $6.50 a seed, as you can see.
Same as the other one.
Yeah. Cherry Nor by Panama Dragon, crossed with the Panama Dragon by crossed with Cherry Nor. So it's crossed back to each other. It's a hybrid.
No.
It is shorter and taller plants. I'm going to say mine was a taller plant, which leads towards the Panama Dragon. It says it's rich and diverse terpene profile with a wide range of flavors and varieties, skunky along the earthy floral and fuel tones. Yeah, I have to say so. Callus to leaf ratio, calic to high leaf ratio. Easy to grow. Yeah, it was easy to grow. Stuck the seed in the ground, watered it, looked after it, fed it. Went out every day, multiple times a day. So you can see the THC there, 25 to 28%. CBD is 1 to 2%, and harvest in the middle of October. So there.
Awesome.
I would say probably the only negative that I found with it.
You want to share a link to that?
Sure, I'll share a link to that. The only problem I did find with it, as you saw, lots of wind. Okay.
Yeah.
It did end. I was hoping that would help keep things dry and stuff, but I did end up with some bud rot. Whether that's because of any moisture, I'm not sure, but there was some bud rot in it. But like I said, it's a 2-pound plant, and the bud rot I threw out didn't affect the yield.
Good.
To that point. That I threw it out or gave up on it or anything like that. Okay, so I'm gonna throw that.
My horse just walked past the door.
What's that?
My horse just walked past the door.
Oh, did it? All right. Now I don't know if you noticed there. It was red. The leaves go red in it.
That's cool. I like seeing the different colors that cannabis can produce, because there's in a very subtle way, they're very vivid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vivid subtlety.
Okay, I can close that tab off. I can close that tab off. All right, so yeah, Cherry Dragon. As far as the effect, I had a doobie before the show, and yeah, I could feel it here, and it was calming effect. It might be good for panic attacks with it being calming.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, maybe when the mail opens back up again, I'll send you some.
Okay.
All right. And then you can let me know down the road. You just never know. Might be good stuff for that. So, all righty. Shall we move on to the next segment? Unless you have some questions on the buds.
What are we? Well, no, I have lots of questions on the buds, but no, we can go on.
Okay. All right. Here we go. It's that time.
Otherwise known as fake news.
Come on. What do you got? I think you got a story that you wanted to discuss.
I do. Which one was it? Oh, the driver one.
Yeah, that was the one I think you wanted to do. Correct.
Yes. So I've got. Now we might get in trouble for this. We might not. I've got a little video that's 2 minutes long that is about driving while on gummies.
Yeah, it's actually they're doing a study on edibles.
Yes.
and driving, and what the effect edibles have on people's driving. And
Which
they're looking for volunteers,
yes,
I believe. Have they?
When we were going through the whole legalization thing, there were also studies being done, I believe, down at CAMH about smoking cannabis and driving.
Driving, correct? Yes.
I've always wanted to, since I've been doing the show, I've always wanted to go and get really, really high and go for a drive in one of these simulators and see if it really, really affects me, because I have ADHD and get distracted very, very easily. But I also want to mention that if you were to say what my career was over my life, I drove a truck, I drove a panel van, I drove a forklift. So driving is my thing. And do I drive stoned? No. Do I drive medicated? Yes. I don't drive down the road anymore while smoking a doobie, because that's a lot of trouble that you don't need. Seriously.
That's correct.
Right?
Exactly.
But like when I was younger, there was a time when we went for I'm sure Al went to booze cruises. We'd go up to Caledon and drive around on all the dirt roads. And have
you do, eh?
Smoke a couple of doobies and then head home by way of Barrie.
We stopped once because I didn't drink, so I was the guy who always.
You were the driver, yeah.
I was the driver.
Unfortunately, the driver that we had was the drunk.
We squeezed 5 people into a Vega, and way we would go.
Green Army green Dodge Dart here.
And one day we come across a young lady that was just sort of hanging around the end of her driveway, and so we stopped and we asked her. We said, well, "What do you get high on out here?" And she said, "Life." So there you go. All right, run your video.
All right. Oh! Every time I go to run something, that real player pops up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of research on smoked cannabis and the impacts on driving, but very little on the effects of edibles.
University of Saskatchewan professor Alexander Krizel is readying the next study happening at the Driving Research and Simulation Lab. He and his team want to feed people weed gummies and test their driving skills while stoned. They do it using a special driving simulator to perform basic moves like changing lanes and merging.
We also have a battery of tests where we can look at how people can think, and we kind of stress them out a little bit to see how well they perform under a certain amount of stress. And that kind of gives us a good indication of how much the edibles are impacting their ability to think and drive.
The study is co-funded by CAA. According to SGI, more than 1,500 people had vehicles impounded and licenses suspended after failing roadside THC testing last year. The Auto Club wants to use the study in a future national campaign aimed at young drivers.
There was a CAA poll that showed that young drivers think that they can drive just as good or better when they're high. So, and that's increased by 10% since 2021. So there's a real need for research.
They are still looking for people to sign up, specifically those between 19 and 30 who have not consumed cannabis or other drugs for at least 3 days.
Yeah, we'll actually see how long the effects last and how pronounced they are. At what point is the height of the effects and when did they start to taper off? We do know studies say the effects will last up to 10 hours, but we really don't have any clue what that means for driving impairment.
The study starts in the new year with results expected in the spring. Krizel says everyone who takes part gets snacks and a free cab ride home. Jeremy Warren, CBC News, Saskatoon.
Now, Al.
Yo.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Have you ever been pulled over for smoking and driving, or gone through a ride programming while while almost consuming. I said almost because you had already, I know the end of this story.
I drove right into a ride program while I was consuming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what happened?
But I didn't.
What actually happened?
It wasn't if I just drove up to the ride program, seeing the police officers.
No, it was like, oh fuck, put this out.
It was more about coming down a hill and around a corner, and they were around the corner at a stop sign, and I wondered what was so much traffic at the stop sign. I was just thinking, geez, it's busy in this town today, because it was just a small little town that I was driving through.
Yeah. And
sure enough, it was a ride program. And I got busted. There was no driving against cannabis laws at the time. So I wasn't charged with DUI for driving while stoned on cannabis. Okay. I was charged with having possession of.
So they didn't charge you with driving under the influence. No. They charged you with possession.
Possession, correct. Yep.
So you're a felon, is what you're saying.
No, I've had a pardon. I went to a cannabis event and learned about a company that deals with pardons, so I contacted them. And so I got some comments here from Buddy Weeds that we should maybe throw in there. And he says that I have never been impaired by cannabis to the point that I could not drive. Now, drinking, on the other hand, totally different story and different effects. Correct.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah. And he says that he's been through a couple of ride checks himself. And, over the years, there's no doubt about that. And he says he pulled out his medical license and they sent him on his way. Really, eh? Because normally, that's not permission to drive by having a cannabis license.
Yes.
Right? The same as a prescription. If you got a prescription for opiates, but you're taking a pile of them and you're stoned on
which is one of the reasons why they changed the drink the consuming and driving laws, because one of the things they were trying to combat is the pills and driving. You take a handful of fucking perks and then go for a drive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. All right. So from driving and eating gummies and getting stoned, we're going to go on to the next story, what happens to do with Health Canada. And they say that about 5% of cannabis purchases in Canada come from irregular sources. You notice it doesn't say illegal, it just says irregular sources. Uh-huh. And all the other headlines I was seeing was saying 3%. And I was wondering, why does Jack Cans got 5%? And I found out why once I read it and got into the story. And this is done through the 2024 Canadian Cannabis Survey. You can see it right here.
Which they were asking the public to
answer questions.
Yes.
Yeah. They say the amount spent per month on cannabis decreased from $73 to $63. Now, is that because of price compression? Because that's over 6 years, and as we know, the prices have gone down.
Has it been 6 years already?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Okay. Smoking cannabis remains the most common way Canadians consume cannabis.
I think I will. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. But the proportion who report smoking cannabis has declined by 20%. They said in 2018, 89% of cannabis consumers smoked. That number has declined to 69% in the last 2 years.
I think that's because the novelty is worn off.
Yeah, and there's people are learning about the alternative ways I would think of consuming it, right? Eating cannabis products is the second most common mode of consumption at 57%, which is up from 43% 6 years ago. And vaporizing which includes vaping dried cannabis and extracts. And, I got a vape pen right here. Accounted for 37% of the consumption.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
The number of people who reported getting their cannabis from legal source in the first half of 2024 remained the same as the previous year, up 72%, from just 37% in 2019. Now, as I mentioned, some places are reporting 3% of the people don't get their cannabis from the legal store.
Mm-hmm.
What they've done here in this article, they call it irregular. So there's 3% of respondents in the survey reported getting their cannabis from an illegal source, while 15% got theirs from a social friend and stuff. Now, 2% reported getting their cannabis from First Nations community. So that 2% and that 3% will give you that 5% that's in the headline for the regular source.
Now, I suspect that these numbers are much higher, to be honest. But
yeah, well, these are the numbers that people have submitted to the government. Yes. But yeah,
most people don't talk about it; they just do it.
No,
it's and just a lot of people would say us few that like to talk about it all the time.
And some people would say, "What survey? No one asked me any questions."
Yeah, well, yeah. And a lot of the OG cannabis community in Canada will say that, because you know what? I've been sitting here for 20 fucking years almost, and nobody's ever asked me to take part in a fucking survey.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Now, as far as
I would be a key demographic, I would think.
Yeah. And it might be that they just put out the notification, and it's just up for the public to see it randomly and do it. Yeah, correct.
And they do it, the way they do it, though, is they sneak these things up so that you don't, like, oh, there's another survey. Oh, cool. Where is it? Oh, well, it ended yesterday.
Yeah. I think I've done one. I've done one of these ones.
Just like when they allowed members of the public and the community that they actually invited into these meetings during Health Canada's decision-making of legalization when it was coming forward. And yet I was never invited. I know a few people who went, but they just went. They weren't invited. They invited doctors and lawyers and ex-police officers who didn't consume to make laws that consumers had to follow.
Yeah, buddies like you and me, we haven't been asked, but like down the U.S. right now, they're going through that rescheduling process, and the DEA is already being accused of fixing all the witnesses and speaking to one particular one behind the scenes. So yeah. Now, as far as the driving end of things, because we're talking about the gummies and so on and so forth, they say the number of people who reported using cannabis before driving was 18%, increased slightly from the year prior. It was at 15% in 2023, but still lower.
Most people won't answer yes to that question.
Well, 27% of the people reported yes in 2018.
My point.
Yeah. They say this included 16% who reported driving within 2 hours of smoking or vaporizing cannabis.
Well, isn't that generally the rule that law enforcement will pick up on things when they ask that question? Have you consumed cannabis? Yes, I have. How long ago? 2-3 hours ago. That should suffice.
Yeah.
If you're not acting like, hey man, no, I don't do that stuff,
Now they say those who reported using cannabis in the last 12 months, 78% said they believe cannabis use impairs one's ability to drive. 13 responded that it depends, and 6 responded saying that it did not impair driving ability. And that was brought up in that video that you had there.
I would say that I would answer depends.
Yeah.
Because it depends on the individual. The are they a medical patient or are they just a consumer that consumes now and then?
Mhm.
You know, because I mean, I don't even want to incriminate myself, but you know, I wake up and have 6 doobies before I even go make breakfast. You know, is
Yeah.
smoking a joint an hour before I go out for a drive going to affect me like it would a kid who's just going down the road, puff, 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 passing?
Yeah.
No.
Buddy says that lots of people with very little experience with cannabis making the rules isn't very smart, and that's there was that, especially when it came through on the legalization end of things. But especially when it comes to new drivers or new
With
consumers.
new drivers, that's your forte, Al. Not mine.
Yeah. Like I've seen people get stoned off a 110 milligram gummy.
Oh fuck! I've gotten ripped off fucking cookies before.
Yeah. So yeah.
I've
2.5.
I've gone through. We were talking about panic attacks earlier.
Right.
I've called an ambulance because I thought I was having I thought I was having a heart attack. So I called an ambulance, and that H word came up, hypermemesis.
Yeah, that one.
It's the first thing, and I was just like, don't even. but the feeling and the sense, regardless of anything, the sensation was there because I consumed too much cannabis. And that's my body going, hey, you need to slow down. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it does matter. It matters who you are. It matters the strain. And I mean, it matters the situation. Do I condone driving under the influence of anything? No. Just for legal purposes.
All righty. We've gone from headlines. It's time for us to take a quick little break, and then we got 2 more segments to go, and that's some sports, and we got some events and entertainment still to come. So we'll see you in about 23 seconds. Are you looking for non-stop, continuous cannabis and psychedelic programming? If you are, then turn your browsers to 420radio.ca or paceradio.net, where you will find the 420 Pace Re-Rolled Saturday. Everything gets started at 8 a.m. Eastern Saturday morning.
36, 37, 38.
Okay, buddy, just put it down there. That's good. That's right. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Yeah, my grandson was here. He was talking to him.
Yeah.
You got a live studio audience, All right. So, sports wise,
David
what's
used
up?
to sit on the couch while we did shows when he was younger. He would sit, and I would have him sit directly behind me so you couldn't see him.
He was just passing by.
Yeah,
and he was getting something out of the printer here.
Excuse me, Papa. I'm cutting through.
Yeah.
Need something to draw on.
So, in sports, there is a new league out. It's called the Northern Super League, and they've held meetings in Toronto. And what is the NSL, the Northern Super League? It is a new women's pro soccer league. So we got new league, new team. They've got the football team, not football, but the soccer team there already for the men.
It's called football as well, buddy.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Depends on what country you're from, right? And now they've got a women's league. That is going to have a team there in Toronto. Awesome. And the league, we're going to have 6 teams in total, and it starts in April of this year. They've been having all their board meetings and discussing things.
Where are they playing out of?
That's what I'm looking for right now, to see what's in okay. The Northern Super League will kick off teams within Vancouver, Calgary, Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, and Halifax.
So all the big cities.
Yeah. All Canadian teams. And
will they be playing against American teams? Does it say, or is it just
no? It doesn't say. It doesn't say anything. It's all Canadian teams. I would think, like, if I would maybe look at that come expansion, maybe if they expanded, like the PWHL, the Women's Hockey League there, professional league, they're expanding. So I could see where the NSL may get that inaugural season up and running, get it out there, and then start taking in expansion opportunities for other people.
Women's sports is taking off big time. I actually, during the fight, I actually enjoyed that women's bout more so than I did the others.
And I didn't watch it, but I can tell you that I've seen posts online agreeing with you.
That was a real fight. Okay, the first fight, or the first two fights, I guess, because there was four, right? The first couple of fights were lightweight, welterweight men's. They weren't very good. I mean, but you could see that women's fight was authentic, and they wanted to have that fight for a long time, and they've said that they're going to do it again. I like I said, I enjoyed it. I enjoy women's sports. The WNBA has got a world of its own now. I remember when that started. I remember when the Blizzard came to Toronto.
Yeah.
Are they still called the Blizzard?
No, I think
they used to play at the University of Toronto field on Bloor.
Oh, okay.
The Blizzard, that's where they used to play, and then they I don't know if they're still around or not, but
I don't know. I'm just doing a quick Google search, and let's see. It was the Calgary Blizzard Soccer Club.
So maybe they moved to Calgary.
The Scarborough Blizzard Youth Soccer Club.
No, that's not it. So they must have moved to
the
Calgary.
Toronto Blizzard, the High Performance Academy #1. Yeah. Oh.
I don't know. I mean,
using the name.
Like we discovered a few weeks ago, I just found out that the Argos won the Grey Cup.
Hey, that's because you watch the High Guys Sports News broadcast. That's why you found
it. That's right. Yes.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. From soccer, we're going to go on to a cannabis end of things when it comes to sports, and that is because in the NFL has changes cannabis policy to increase the THC threshold for positive tests.
This is a big one for sports.
It's gone from 150 nanograms per milliliter of blood to 350, so more than twice.
Wow.
And reduce the fines for a positive test result from 50% of the player's game check to a $15,000 first violation. It's $20,000 for a second violation.
Yeah, when you read these articles and you read the captions, it makes it sound like, oh wow, this is good. This isn't so good. They need to just remove it like other sports these are doing now.
Like even the caption, even the headline tells you that it's still illegal to use it. Like you can use it, but you're only allowed so many nanograms.
Look, if you can go and smoke a joint before a game, if you can go and smoke a big fatty before a game and then win, who cares?
Yeah, I know, eh? Maybe they look at it as cheating because if cannabis helps you with your pain, it reduces the pain that you're suffering during
But
the game.
it's not performance enhancing in any way other than joint rolling.
They also say fines for missed tests will be reduced, and all players who currently have pending discipline for missed tests will have these missed tests excused.
Oops, missed
And
it.
they will be considered as having no missed tests, so the record would be wiped from their system.
No missed test.
Yeah.
I missed again.
So there you go. They've increased their THC limit in the NFL, which is much better than what they were doing in the past. That's for sure.
And that's actually pretty high of a limit.
Yeah, but he says go sports.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'd be interesting, to be able to get yourself tested to find out what is your your
when
limit
they
of knowledge.
first started talking about the NFL making changes, it sounded like they were going to remove it from the banned list. Compared, but obviously, that's never going to happen. Kind of like full legalization. No, it's not going to happen. There's always going to be rules.
Wow. Yeah, there will be. There will always be rules.
Often.
And as we know, cannabis gets in your system and it sticks around, right? So on Friday, you go out, you do. Let's say they've got a few days where they're not doing any games or anything, and they go out and they consume some cannabis, and then they happen to consume a little bit more, and after the test, and that's still in the system, and they hit them with a random test. Like I'm sort of looking at, can they pile up in order to end?
I know somebody who got a job, had to get a drug test. I'd had to take them, and had not consumed cannabis for 2 months leading up to this drug test because they knew that he was going to have a drug test to get this job. 2 months, so that's 60 days, and he failed.
Yeah.
What I found surprising, he suffers from panic attacks. So a few days before we went, I gave him a microdose of mushrooms, not thinking. Oops.
He's going with a test.
We went to get his drug test done.
Yeah.
And he came back. He failed his cannabis test, but nothing came up for psilocybin. Let me explain why. It passes through your body within 24 hours, if not faster, because it literally passes through your body out your poop.
Yeah, ours and THC is absorbed into your system. It's in your fatty tissues. Right?
Well, it's not absorbed. My point is, the moral to my story is, it's not absorbed into your body as cannabis.
Sure.
And also pills absorb differently as well.
So it'll be
no disaster.
You'll never know. You'll never know what people who pass the test. But it'd be nice.
Well, you only know about the people who don't.
Yeah. What examples can you come up with that would equal 350 milligrams per milliliter in your blood?
Look, I understand some jobs you have to remain lucid. You can't have any other substances in your body because of danger, because of safety, because of this, because of procedure, whatever.
You're an airline pilot and you've got.
I wouldn't want my airline pilot smoking a joint while he was flying through the air. But yet, at one time, we know this now. A lot of airline pilots in between flights spent a lot of time in the bar.
Yes, that has happened. Yes.
So I mean, like, we've been dealing with this this being under the influence crap for a long time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There's a reason. There's a reason for prohibition, you know.
All righty. Anything else on the sports front?
Nope.
Nope. All right. On to the last segment of the day.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's the I like saxophones. I like those.
I played the trumpet. I was the second trumpet in the school band. So
Yeah.
yep, I like air instruments.
The like Pink Floyd, Comfortably Numb. I always have this image in my head that it was during the Treating Yourself Expo, and the Killing Time band was performing. We were at the Mob Club or something like that.
Mod Club, the Mod
Club. I think that's where it was held at.
Yep.
And they had the extra pieces on the stage, like the band, and the guy was up there, and he was playing the sax, and the fog was misting through and everything. It was really cool. I got a good picture of it and sent it to the guys, and they really appreciated it. So it was yeah, I like that.
I saw
like blues, like sax.
I saw James Taylor,
yeah,
at the Scotia Plaza or Scotia Bank or Scotia, whatever they call it now, Air Canada Center. And Blue Lou from the Blues Brothers played sax in his band because he has a lot of studio musicians in there.
Right.
So I thought that was fucking. I loved that because I grew up enjoying the Blues Brothers stuff.
Yeah. So
it was neat to see somebody from a movie that I saw as a kid playing on a stage with a man who I've adored as my whole life. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Okay. Events.
Speaking of concerts, no, we'll talk about that after.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't even go there. Just
go on. No, come on, go on.
Yeah, more on that later, folks.
Yeah.
Upcoming events. A reminder. I mentioned this last week. I'm going to repeat it this week because it's happening this weekend. Yes, Saturday. And that is the Great Hash Rising Showdown 2.0 is happening. As well as let's just see. Yeah, I'll just bring that up.
And if you're there and you see Sherry Ann Baker doing her thing there, say hi because it'll show up here.
That's right, exactly. So here you go. The Great Hash Rosin Showdown 2.0. Santa Claus is presenting this from 1 till 7 p.m. December the 14th to take part in this hash rosin extravaganza. The first elimination round tickets. Only 100 judge kits available.
Wow.
Judge ticket includes your judge sample kit plus dinner.
Ooh, where is this?
Over $4,000 in prizes available. Now where is it? Well, it's in collaboration with Canna Kick It. Yep. And the email address tells me it's a sublimination event, so the subliminator, maybe, I don't know. Time 1 to 7 tickets. Location TBA to be announced.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it tickles my butt now that I'm way up here, and there's all these events have come back because there was nothing going on when I left because of COVID.
Right.
And now it all kicked up, and I'm sitting way up here doing nothing. Nothing, I say. Well, I mean, I sit with these guys. I sit in Al's pocket.
Right.
So if you see Al at an event, look in his pocket. I bet you I'm there.
You bet you're there. Exactly. Okay. moving on to the next event, as a reminder, Canna Crawl winter.
Winter event.
Festival, September the 14th. Music, food, 40 plus exhibitors, door prizes goes from 2 till 10 in Hamilton.
And this will be
Ontario.
in Hamilton, yes.
Yeah. And what else has got here? Event details, 2 to 10, blah, blah, blah. The 10. And
for any law enforcement that may be watching, the event location, TBA.
Yeah, and it doesn't even say that in the information down below, but that's usually what it is. Crap, TBA.
We used when we were doing our thing there at Gunjanistas, our weekend thing, Canicade. We would. Well, we didn't have to worry about that because we were always in the same spot, right? But there's a lot of pop-ups now. But you'll usually find that a lot of things in Toronto are now down at the, what do they call it? The dank.
The dank forest.
There's like 3 or 4 different places in Toronto now that seem to be hosting these events. And they're doing it quite openly again, which is really cool. Because I think we need that. We need these events. We need to be able to go out and sample them and be with the community. And this isn't just about going to the store, buying some weed and going home and smoking it.
No, socialize.
Culture of socializing and with cannabis is bigger. I mean, like how would alcohol consumers feel if you weren't allowed to go to a bar and socialize with your friends over a beer?
Yeah.
We can't do that.
Or go to a restaurant.
We have to do it here online.
Go to a restaurant, order a beer, and then sit there and drink it in front of your kids.
The first time I smoked a joint was in a hash bar while I was consuming a rum and coke with my mom. I was probably 12, 14 years old in there. And it was in Amsterdam in the red light district. So I was smoking a joint, drinking alcohol, and watching people screw in the windows.
There you go. Yeah.
I mean, quite literally.
Yes. Yeah.
Still goes on.
Well, yeah, there are some restrictions though now. I think when it comes to, they don't like tourists there because tourists.
They have.
Did you know cannabis tourists shit on people's lawns? That's what they say. That's why they banned them.
They have done due diligence to try and stop tourists coming into Holland and other cities of Amsterdam, where cannabis is consumed natively, and you're not allowed to. Like if we were to go on a trip, I couldn't just walk into a store and purchase cannabis. There's laws now. The store can get shut down if they sell to tourists in some areas.
Right. Did you have a video to run in here right now on events?
Yes, we can run one of Sherry Ann's videos from Kind, which we haven't done yet.
Being that we're on the event end of things, I thought maybe we should run that.
Yes.
All right.
So let's bring that up. And I have to find it again. There we go.
Is it better? No. That's the red guy. Oh, we're drunk. No, we're not. Everything's red, alien-like.
Yeah.
No red.
I tried their stuff.
So we got more coming from Sherry Ann. She goes to events all the time.
Yeah.
And puts little things together, and we're going to start packaging them a little bit differently so that we can actually enjoy a clip.
I noticed in that one, it kind of looked like there was a Christmas tree. I guess winter, right?
Yep.
Winter, yeah.
Also, that is a legal event.
It's a legal one, correct? Yes.
It
yes.
was a legal event. So the difference between going to what was the other one? Evolve was also a legal event, was it not?
Yeah.
So she goes, but Sherry Ann goes to both legal events and community events as well. So you'll see, you'll be able to tell the difference because the legal events you can't consume at, but the community events you can.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah,
exactly. So
although there are now, I should correct myself because as of a year ago, they've been having smoking areas at the larger events.
Okay.
Like Grow Up and what's the other one that we're going to in March?
Oh, Can Expo.
Can Expo. They have vaping areas, smoking areas where you can go and consume outside.
Right.
When we started this, when Al and I started this back when they were doing the Treating Yourself Expo, I hope you're feeling better, Marco, by the way. We were consuming in Canadian government buildings.
Yes. Yeah. Federal building. Yes.
Federal
correct.
building. Yes.
Yeah.
And Metro, because the Metro Convention Center is Toronto.
Right there, man. Right there.
And now we have a vaping area where we can go and vape and consume. We're not out by the dumpsters anymore. That's where the tobacco smokers go.
All righty. Anything on entertainment wise? Any video movie that you watched that you want to?
You know what? I watched a movie. I don't have a clip for it. I watched a movie. I mentioned it last week called Conclave.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know what a conclave is. It's the choosing of the next pope when the pope before expires. It's a fictional movie that they've included a lot of factual things in. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's more of a thriller than anything. But it was really good. And because I enjoy history stuff, right?
Right.
So I enjoyed it. It was really good.
Good. You see that Buddy says that I am consuming everywhere I go, regardless of the rules.
The only rule that I follow on consumption at all of cannabis is if it is legal to smoke a cigarette in that spot, I'm going to smoke a joint. Right.
Yeah. Now I know of a place. I know of a place. It's actually a Legion that has a sign at both doors saying no cannabis smoking or vaping allowed.
Yes.
Within 10 meters of the door.
Yeah.
I mean, what? It's close enough to the sidewalk that you could actually have to leave the property.
We had an event here in Terrace Bay. It's a yearly event, and it's basically, the fall fair or whatever you call it. And it says right on the website, this is a smoke-free event. I mean, I understand that they're staying within the law, but yet to say no smoking or vaping, tobacco would be fine by me, but the law states that if you can consume tobacco, you can consume cannabis.
Yeah, but in that sign, that scenario where it says no smoking allowed, that covers
can't
both
do either.
cannabis and tobacco.
And it doesn't matter if you're medical.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it used to. It used to matter, right? But it doesn't matter at all. The Canadian government still in 2024 still does not recognize cannabis as a medicine. They still call it marijuana with an H on their website.
With an H.
And they still say that we don't allow it federally, but yet
as far as the entertainment end of things again, I've got one little article here of cannabis and entertainer that's doing something, and I just have to bring it up. There we go.
Jeez, we're going long today, buddy. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know, eh? Look at that. Snoop Dogg opens his first pot shop.
Yep.
So he's got his own stores now.
Yeah, this has been coming for a while now, I think.
Yeah, because I know he had his own brand going on that was connected to Tweed that I think is no more. But opening the dispensaries with his name.
Yeah. Well, you know that a lot of people are doing it, so why not? I think one of the first big time celebrities, if you want to call them that, to be public about working in the cannabis industry was Jim Belushi, because he did his reality show about the Belushi farm, and you know what?
Yeah, buddy says can't stop me from eating it there. If there's a will, there's a way.
There is.
And the thing is that you're eating it, so nobody's gonna know any difference. You're just eating it, whatever it is you're eating.
I tend to eat.
It's a smell.
I tend to eat things before I go to a concert because I can't smoke. I have not been to a concert in the last 5 years since legalization where I've smoked.
Well, I'll tell you, things have changed.
I'm sure. So before we go to my last little thing here, you're going to see BTO sometime soon.
Yeah, actually in April we're gonna go see BTO, April Wine, and the head pins.
And how much were the tickets?
The tickets online, they list them anywhere from I'm thinking $70 to $125.
Yeah, which is normal now. It's not.
Just make sure you click on. Just make sure you click on the right link. That's all. That's all I can tell you, man.
Yeah.
Make sure you click on the right link because it gets costly otherwise.
God, how much did the tickets cost you so far,
Al?
He doesn't.
A few bucks. Let's just say a few bucks.
I was gonna say.
I'm gonna really enjoy it. It's our 40th wedding anniversary.
I've had a couple of things go on with tickets, but not like that.
Oh, well, yeah, I'll tell you. I learned my lesson.
But you'll enjoy it because I know this because Bachman Turner Overdrive is Randy Bachman's group. He's had several. But he did this without Burton Cummings, and I saw Bachman Cummings with my pal, with David, before I left, which I thoroughly enjoyed completely.
Did you? Yeah.
You're going to enjoy it because they'll do old songs as well, of course.
Oh yeah, yeah. And April Wine, Gail and I seen April Wine at the same venue
And the
like
headpins, God,
decades ago.
the
And,
headpins you don't see around at all anymore.
like the headpins, like I went, holy fuck, flashback to the mid '80s.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
We when I lived in Mount Forest, they had a
And
big
you know, because she
concert.
was always Debbie Mills, she was always a rocker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw April Wine, Loverboy, Ted New or not Ted Nugent, Kim Mitchell, a whole bunch of Canadian old school rockers in Mount Forest, actually in my backyard, because my backyard, the fence on the other side was where they had the concert in the parking lot. And David Wilcox was there, and I had 20 some odd people in my backyard, and a big plume of smoke just wafted over the whole concert. But it's just a barbecue. Sorry.
Yeah, you're sharing. All right. Anything else in the entertainment end of things?
I'm sharing here because I've got this little story here, right here.
Right.
Musicians are collaborating on psychedelics and working with MAPS to promote and study. And they're using, one of the studies that they're doing is music and psychedelics. And so I'm scanning through here just to see who. I know that I saw Melissa Etheridge, who is in the cannabis industry as well, is involved. But I don't see a list here really.
Of who?
Boyd, Etheridge, Yitzy. I've never heard of those. Reggie Watts, Closey, East Forest, and MAPS president Rick Dublin, and of course Melissa Etheridge is the big name there.
Yes.
And she's been
cannabis. She was dealing with, wasn't she? Dealing with breast cancer or something?
She was in the industry before the industry got started, I assure you, because she's promoted it highly as a medicine, I believe.
Yeah. Completely agree. That's what I said. I could be wrong. I was thinking that it was breast cancer, but
there was some cancer involved there. Yeah, you know, as I've found, doing this a while, most of the people who are in the industry now, maybe not so much now the younger people, but the older folks came into the industry because of the need for cannabis as a medical alternative.
Right.
Now, so I mean, I don't even know most of the people involved in these events now.
Yeah, things have changed.
Yeah.
No, it's sort of, think of it as a conveyor belt. People first get in on the scene, involved. They get all, do all the things and all that, and people shift along, and then eventually they just sort of drift away, fade away, and
unfortunately, a lot of the older people in the community, 20 years plus, are buried now because they came into the community as a patient of some sort, and we've lost a lot of warriors, you could call them.
Yeah.
Who have been fighting for our medical rights in Canada for cannabis.
Right. I think we're wrapping up the show the same way we got it started, and that's talking about those who were leading the charge before us, We started the show talking about
Alan was one of them.
Professor Alan Young, right?
Alan was one
Oh,
of
this
them.
is a good box end.
John Conroy is another one. He's still very much alive, harvesting his forest mushrooms.
Oh yeah, it's forest mushrooms and all the wildlife that goes by his cameras. It's quite the
You
stuff.
know, one thing, just to end here, my thought here, one thing that I saw before the snow came down was a lot of lawn mushrooms.
Yeah,
up here, because they migrate in. I mean, I'm literally surrounded by I guess it's a boreal. Is it boreal? Boreal
forest.
Yeah, which is just another word for a rainforest, basically.
Yeah,
like we're a small town in the forest on the edge of the lake and in the middle of fucking northern Ontario.
Yeah. We have a message from our buddy Weeds. He says, "Awesome sounding show." And for anybody who wasn't with us at the beginning, Buddy's been with us the whole time. And this is the third time we attempted to go live.
Third time's a charm.
StreamYard was having problems with the audio, and so we just kept trying and trying. And we finally got through. So, yeah, you have a great week as well, buddy.
You too, buddy.
And puff as well. So, all right.
Yeah, I can do puff pass now. Look at this.
Hey, yeah. Well, hang on.
I noticed that there's quite the plume of smoke coming out of that fucking thing. I tell you, my Shatterizer doesn't do that. I think I need a new battery.
This battery works great, and I've been switching cartridges all the way through the show.
Have you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. This is about my first cartridge. Just I got enough of them sitting here. I'm just.
I've been switching strains and doobies.
Well, that's what I'm doing. You know, it's where we started as well in our discussion today, doing strains. So, we got one more comment coming in. Buddy says puff pass as well. Bye, buddy. All right. Other than that, folks, I think that's it. You got anything else you want to say, Al? All right. Bye, guys. We'll see you all next week. Same time. Same
Bye,
place.
guys.
And I see that it's not there. So I'm going to go this way. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. You're watching the 420 Pace Network, found at 420radio.ca and paceradio.net. Are you looking for non-stop, continuous cannabis and psychedelic programming? If you are, then turn your browsers to 420radio.ca or paceradio.net, where you will find the 420 Pace Re-Rolled Saturday. Everything gets started at 8 a.m. Eastern Saturday morning.